Hey everybody, this is Sid Sexton and my good friend Keith Glines with episode 99 of the Overlap Podcast. And the Overlap Podcast is the discussion, the study of the overlaps within life of, business, family, parenting, management, fitness, how you show up for the workouts, how you're going to show up at work, how you show up at work, how you're going to show up at home. All of those areas, all those aspects of life are, there's no compartmentalizing. There's no compartmentalizing between those. And getting better in one area of life helps you get better at the other. So good morning, Keith.
Good morning. I'm kind of nostalgic because we're like sitting in the same place we started this whole. We're not sitting in this cool new studio. We're sitting in my house, in my office.
Yeah.
And a Saturday edition.
Yeah. Well, we've got some busy lives, man.
Yeah,
it's
and
summertime.
We worked out this morning, though. We moved our bodies.
It was tough.
I almost died.
You did. I actually have a photo. I'm sure I'll post that later.
Yeah, you've already started sending it around. I just saw it.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it's, one of the downsides of being friends with me. So episode 99, we've got a quick hit today. These things are designed to just be a short podcast, really just a thought-provoking podcast to get you thinking, get you moving in the right direction. And this one couldn't be more timely. We actually put it in the schedule to be at this time. And what do we got today, Keith?
So you're coming up on halfway.
Yeah.
I mean,
at least the calendar year halfway.
Yeah,
might not be your fiscal year. Those weird people with fiscal years ending in October or September, but definitely the calendar year.
Yeah, I'm definitely not smart enough to do that with my business to have an all. I just need it to be in the middle of the year.
Yeah,
that I can kind of assess where I am and where I've been and where I'm going.
Yeah. So that's our question to you, and our reminder is you're coming up on halfway. How is it going? These are some questions you need to be asking yourself. You need to slow down, stop, pick your head up, work on the business, not in the business. You might be like, Keith and I have really gone through a pretty busy, hectic phase, especially over the last couple of months, that it's tough to pick your head up and just take a breath and go, how is it going? What am I, where am I towards my goals, right?
Yeah, it's been, it seems like the second quarter really picked up.
It did.
And business-wise, yes, but like just life's busyness too. You looked at me the other day when we sat in the studio and said, "Where have you been? I haven't seen you in."
It was weird. I hadn't seen you in like 2 weeks.
Yep.
Oh, we hadn't even really talked all that much. That's how busy we've been. But for you, listener, if you're running a business, operating a business, if you're running a household, if you've got whatever going on, you probably set some goals in that January timeframe. If you're a listener to this podcast, we definitely have been pushing you towards that over the last couple of years. And hell, every other podcast is telling you to do that. Where are you with those goals at this point?
I've talked to some businesses because we get to do that now, which is one of the cool things that I get to do for my day to day is people approach me and say, "What do you think about this?" And the first thing I ask them is, "Where are you at?"
Yeah.
And it's amazing to me still.
Yeah.
The people that have no clue where they're at. Oh, I've just been busting tail.
Yeah. Well, so I liken it to, if you're in Fairhope, Alabama, and you're trying to get to San Francisco. One, I don't know why you would drive there, but let's just say you're trying to. You're going to plug that into the GPS and you're going to get driving, right? You'll move in a certain direction. Well, every once in a while, you're going to stop and figure out, where am I in that GPS? If you're like me and you turn the little notifications off so I can listen to the radio without it stopping me every turn I need to go. You need to check it. You need to check to see where you are and how far off track are you. And that is really the middle of the year. That's what you should be doing. And Keith and I have mentioned this lots of times, but you've got to recalibrate. You had a certain amount of information whenever you set those goals at the beginning of the year. Now you've gone almost 6 months. You have way more information. You've got way more data. We'll end with that, but you've got some more information. Where are you now? And what do those goals look like? Are they realistic? Are they too far out there? Do you need to adjust that? Are they did you undersell yourself? Are they nowhere near what you want to go towards now? Do you need to establish new goals? That's what you should be doing right now.
Hey guys, this is Keith. Let me break down a scenario for you. Are you a business owner that is overwhelmed by the options of investing, but you're being told you need to invest in retirement, you need to invest in mutual funds, you need to buy some single stocks? Well, I have your fix. C2 Wealth Strategies, ran by our friend Wes Cody. Their website is c2wealth.com. If you are looking at investing at all and are confused by it, give them a call today. They will be happy to handle whatever you need. He's brought up very specific things that I need to be working on as a business owner in my investing life. Let him do that same thing for you. c2wealth.com or go to the overlaplife.com page and click on sponsors.
Let me tell you about one of our sponsors, Chris Drogmiller. He's with CMD Fencing. One, I really appreciate his support to the podcast. He listens to the podcast, but long before that, he has done several projects for me at my home, at our business, and the dude just does an awesome job. One of the things I really like about him is it's basically just him and someone that helps him. His attention to detail is phenomenal. The work is always high quality. If you've ever had a fence built, you know that the gate itself and how it opens and shuts is kind of the stamp of quality. It always works well. I've made him make some interesting kind of fencing where it's all horizontal. He had no problems with that, did a great job. And the guy is freaking awesome. He's easy to work with and he does a fantastic job. He's a firefighter. So, he works 2 days on and 2 days off. So he comes in and knocks my project out on the days that he's off. And the dude's awesome. You can find him on our website, overlaplife.com. You can find him on Facebook, CMD Fencing. And let's see, his phone number is 901-484-5546. So if you need a fence, need some fence work, call Chris Drogmiller, CMD Fencing.
Right, and I wouldn't be afraid. There's been many times that I've looked at middle of the year and said, okay, I'm way off track here. Yeah. I need to recalibrate, create new goals for the next 6 months.
Absolutely. You don't want to keep heading down the wrong path just because that's the path you laid out. There's actually a term for that, and I'm pulling it up here. It's called escalation of commitment. So this is where it hits me. Like, you start down one idea and it's not working out, but instead of like reevaluating, you go ahead and you double down and you're just trying to prove to yourself and to the world that this is a good idea. And you're going to do that by sheer will. Instead of all the signs that say that it's not a good idea, you still double down and you lose even more. Escalation of commitment. He talks about people that gamble, that like, oh, I'm going to get better next time. And people with like gambling
addictions.
Dude,
I've actually done that. Because if you lose some at the table, you're like, oh, this next one's going to hit.
Yeah, right.
Even though you have the same plan that you started with.
Right.
And I've never walked away.
Somehow it's going to be different. Yeah. So escalation of commitment. There's also cognitive entrenchment is what it's called. Are you suffering from cognitive entrenchment? Are you just getting tunnel vision and thinking this is the only way to do things. So this time of year, take a breath. Frickin', if you can, book a Saturday morning for yourself to just go to a coffee shop and think about something. Get out of your house, get out of your office. Maybe it's a Sunday before church, after church, whatever. Something to get yourself out of the state and out of the position that you're always in, and look at your business or your life or where you're at from a different angle.
And this is one of the things that I know that you actually practice what you preach, because we were in the studio yesterday and I saw you pulled your calendar up and I saw thinking time.
Oh yeah.
Like scheduled in. So how else are you going to look at your goals if you don't have time to schedule, if you don't have that scheduled in your time to do so? Yeah. And that's where they get away from us, is we don't schedule the time to review.
Yeah. So there's that. The last thing I really want to leave everyone with, and this is a lesson that I thought, so in my thinking time and in my my mid-year analysis, I've really been doing this over the last week, and that's what Keith and I were talking about earlier off the mic here, is that I've spent a good amount of time this week, like a ridiculous amount of time, going through everything. And what I'm figuring out is what I used to do would be making decisions based on emotion and how I feel things are. And what I'm trying to do more and more now is I start with the numbers and then see what the numbers are telling me.
Why do you start with the numbers?
Because the numbers are the language of business. And I've been saying that forever, but when I try to reevaluate things, I go to what is easy, and I've got like the feeling, and that sort of dictates what I think, everything is, oh, it's terrible because of this, and we had this one bad employee and this other thing and whatever. But you go, and I've been looking through the numbers, and it actually tells me that things are moving really well in the right direction. And then it also uncovered a couple of other little things that I didn't think, that I thought was probably okay, and it's not. Like, just open and honest. Our revenues are moving in the right direction. Our profits are moving in the right direction. And I thought we weren't doing near as well as we were. But that all seemed great. But then I look in our cash flow analysis. I'm like, oh, man, we're billing that stuff out, but we're not bringing it in the way we should. And so, holy cow, there is one. I'm glad I'm figuring this out at the end of June, beginning of July, and not, December, when you're starting to run out of cash. Because how does a business go out of business, Keith?
They run out of cash.
They run out of cash. They'll make up all kinds of other excuses. And there are some other things that will get you to run out of cash, but the end result is that you run out of cash. And that's how you go out of business.
Yeah, so I've been thinking about that too. I mean, not going out of business, but but a lot of times I will base what I feel on how much I've sold. Yeah. And how much new business is out there. And then I fail to look at the cash flow, because I'll be real honest with you. I struggle to look at the cash flow. Yeah. I just get really hyped up when new business is sold. Yeah. And I'll look at that and I'll say, oh, we have all of this coming in. Yeah. But the fact is that sometimes it's not all coming in the way that you need it to.
Yeah. Well, and so if it's not coming in, then it forces you to ask all kinds of other questions, like, is it because we're not billing it fast enough? Is it because we're not getting the work done on time? Is it because people aren't paying? Is it because they're not paying because of warranty issues, or are they, or quality of work, or are they not paying because, our billing process is antiquated and we're not making it easy for them to bill? There's lots of friction there. We're not trying to make this a cash flow podcast, but just being open and honest, it was one thing that I didn't even think was an issue, and in some real scheduled time to be away from the business and in the middle of it, so I'm not as emotional about answering those questions. How are you doing? How are you doing with your goals? How are you tracking? What are the numbers telling you? then I'm able to decide, then I'm able to see things like that I didn't even realize was an issue. I don't even know if that made sense. I just rambled through there, but
no, it totally makes sense, because I also think that, and not to make this a cash flow, but you can really look at cash flow and also see what the economy's doing.
Maybe.
And if your cash flow is lagging behind, then maybe you need to take a look at that and say, hey, we may be selling a lot of business here, but do they have the money to pay us?
There's all kinds of things in there, but you don't know until you slow down enough to ask the question. You don't know until you lift your head up and work on the business, not in the business. And it's halfway through the year, and this is really the time to do that. I like to do it quarterly, but if you're not able to get if you're not able to get that in, and I understand that, that's something you should be working towards. But let's at least check ourselves halfway through the year.
Yep. So this is just a PSA from us to you. Hey, look at your numbers.
And hey, if you got some questions about that, or you're not sure how to do it, I mean, hit us up. I'm great on Instagram, but we're trying to be better on LinkedIn and Facebook. So just ask us some questions, and we'd love to respond. And maybe we can probably do another one of these episodes where we just take your questions and get them back out to you.
Yep, absolutely. Overlaplife.com. Go check it out.
Peace.
Peace.
Hey there. My good friend Steve Bousquet and his partner, Christine Era, the owners of Green Profit Academy, are super excited about a new product they've got coming out. If you didn't know, they're the authors of Profit First for the Lawn Care Business. And it's a book written by Christine Era. Steve plays a big role in sort of adding to that. But they've got that book. It's already out. But if you're an audiobook listener and you just learn better by listening, they've got the audio version coming out. And I think this is really cool. They've got Christine Era narrating the audiobook, and she does a really good job. I've heard some clips of it. It's pretty fantastic. And Mike Michalowicz, the original author of Profit First, he reads the foreword. And so they've got a book launch that's going to come out on their website, Green Profit Academy, and you should stay tuned for more information about that. They're going to have some giveaways. They're going to have some other special deals going on. But the book itself, the audio book, will come out September 12th. So please be on the lookout for that. And if you need some help with Profit First for your green industry business, please give them a call or look them up, Green Profit Academy. Thanks so much. Okay, guys, everyone knows if you're a business owner, a business leader, or you're just a person in the world needing help with accounting, you need a real partner. You need someone that's going to listen to you and not just plug numbers in to make their job easy to do your taxes. At least that's what I want. I've been through a lot of accountants in my life, and I have yet to find one even remotely as good as Johnny Baranco. He's the owner of Baranco and Associates, and he's the kind of guy that really doesn't manipulate your books to make his job easier. He really is trying to give you insights into your business or into your financial planning world. Whatever your goals are, he's there to help. And so I just encourage you to give him a call. Baranco and Associates, look him up online. It's barancoandassociates.com, and just see if he can help you. He really is the accountant that I recommend to everyone, even before he was a sponsor of the podcast. So please, if you need an accountant, just do yourself a favor and give him a call.
Hey, I want to talk about my friend Ross Sykes at Homefront Lending. He's a mortgage broker that can help you find a home when you don't typically fit in the norm and get you financed. Reach out to Ross at hflend.com. He specializes in mortgage products for first-time homebuyers, veterans, and self-employed borrowers. They are in the business to serve you beyond the transaction. At Homefront, they are always honored to serve. hflend.com.